And we is live.
Of course we are. What it do, snackers, snackettes, snack X's. It's your boy Gage. I have jokes in the building. I have sin in the building. We have special guest Yenside in the building with us. Say hello, everyone.
What's happening, people?
Uh, and you are officially watching Loading Snacks Weekly live. This is where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. I want to shout out specifically to the chat. I see you,
Yeah.
Marcus. Fresca for everyone. I
Already.
appreciate that. I'm going to hold you to that. I'm expecting Frescas delivered to all of us for Extra Life. That's 24 hours
Hey.
like we need it. And I know you can do it because Tony Cunningham, who was also in the chat, has done it for us before.
Yes, he is.
So what up, Tony? What's happening, Jay Roberts? It is good to see all of you. And yeah, all of the movies that might be bad are officially probably not happening this year anyway. So so we have a lot to discuss. Now, before we dig too deeply, I want to take a moment. Mr. Yenside, please introduce yourself to everyone. Let them know who you are, where they can find you. Let's talk a little history here, my good sir.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on here. Appreciate it. Gage, jokes, and I'm glad to be here. Gage, I'm sorry. We got a stronger history from back in the blue days,
Indeed,
and not a format of language, but you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
But you can find me some places. We'll go through that at the end. And I'm just
Okay.
glad to be a part of your show. I was watching you guys last week, and it was a lot of fun. And I want to be a part and kind of interject some things a little bit better than or faster than chat. So
Indeed. Indeed.
Cool.
So listen, if you haven't noticed, there are some things in the background of Yenside's background.
Mhm.
That's not fake. Stokes' background. Yenside's background is real. Those are real things. I like that a lot. What's up, Ty? Listen. Doctor Who Gives AF has
Hey.
already hit me and threatened to send me things during the show.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no telling where this is going today. But here's the thing. So Yenside, as far as I'm concerned, is literally the resident Star Wars expert. I don't know if it gets any more expert than that.
well,
And
thank
while
you.
I will tell you that yes, you as he said, we go way back. Let me just tell you a little story. Some of you have probably heard it.
15 plus years.
Something like that. Something like that.
My wife and you probably know each other a little bit longer.
But only a little bit. Only a little bit. And here's the thing. This goes back to I want to say either episode 2 or 3. When we were working at Best Buy together and got a shipment of lightsabers
Oh yeah.
that lit up. And you got excited and decided once the store closed, we were going to turn the lights off and have lightsaber duty.
Yep.
And that's how real it is, y'all.
Dig it.
That's how real it is. What's up, Alfonso?
Say, forget the customer. We open up all these and having a Star Wars battle.
We
Come
doing
back
it.
in this summer tomorrow. I love it.
You know what's funny? I still have that one from that day.
Listen, you should. I
Yeah.
imagine so. So we are going to talk a little bit about Star Wars Squadron, which came out last week, and it is a game. And no, this is not our video game show, but we are also going to talk about our predictions for the Mandalorian season 2 because it is quickly coming upon us. So let's start by talking about Squadrons. Everyone has played, correct?
Affirmative.
Absolutely.
Okay. And currently, are we at a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Make it
I'll
simple.
let you guys go first.
I'm up.
I'm up right now. Like I'm enjoying it so far.
Okay. So I want to talk about single player first. And I don't want to do spoilers. I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't played or
Right.
anything like that. I just want to know how we feel about the story and its greater ties to Star Wars lore. Where are we on this? I'm gonna start with you, Sin.
So far, I'm still going through the story. Right now, I feel like it's just okay with me. Like, it hasn't pulled me in like other Star Wars games have been. I don't know if it's just because of the way they're doing it. Like, you can tell it's built for VR. Like, the storytelling parts when you just pan to left, right, talk to people, get some story, move to the next room, do the same thing. So I don't know if it's just the way it's done or just the story hasn't pulled me in like they usually do. But right now, I'm just in the okay. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like scream, jump for joy. Oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever seen type of deal. So
I do want to comment on that quickly. Let me start by saying the game looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
I give it that. No, definitely.
it is a sexily crafted game. Though it does feel like the game was meant for VR.
VR initially, I 100% agree. I was going to get into that. Yep.
It definitely feels like it's meant for VR. So when you talk about that kind of like just kind of pivoting and talking to someone or whatever, it almost feels like you're on rails at something that should be the beginning of a theme park ride, and then you jump in the ship and you go. That's kind of where I am on it. Yenside, how are you feeling?
While I agree that it was, VR is probably the best way to view and enjoy this game, I don't necessarily think it was built for that. The flight part, yes, it's going to be very, very, in depth. You're going to get really involved in it and you're going to enjoy it. As far as, interacting with, when you're around the mission table and just turning to this person and clicking on them, it has the same elements of Fallen Order. The same thing when you're in the ship. You move to this person, you click, you get some stories. So that aspect is okay to me.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten really too far into it. We did blow up Earth. I mean, no spoilers. I apologize if no one got to that. No one got there right.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
But yeah, VR is causing me to build a new rig, and I want to experience that way. But
yeah.
I get what you're saying on rails. It can seem that way a little bit, but the flight is really great. And I'm guessing the three of you guys play it on console?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm old school PC gamer.
I dig it.
Yeah, and I had a really hard time keyboard and mouse because of that dead zone, and a lot of people on PC had dead zone issues. It was too big, and you really couldn't adjust it. I put a flight stick on, dead zone is gone, and my kill ratio went up dramatically.
I was going to ask about that, whether or not you had an opportunity to play with a flight stick.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't buy a flight stick to play it on console, but if I was playing it on PC, that's how I would do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I can't do those
kind of same thing like with Sunset. Like as far as like the story, like it's okay. Like I like the fact that it's within the normal type universe, but it is kind of separate from the typical the Skywalker and all that. Whereas they do have little subtle references to some of your OG characters and thing in there for it. So I give it the nod to that, and it's not heavily relying on that. But so far the story is just okay for me. I feel like as I get a little bit more into it, I feel like it'll probably come to light a little bit more for it. But I'm enjoying it so far of what we're being told for the story. Gameplay, like, unlike you guys, I actually love playing the multiplayer and being online and playing against people. So after playing the single player for a little bit, I just went ahead and jumped right into online battles. And I, quite frankly, am enjoying that very so much.
Really?
Yes. Maybe it's just I just love multiplayer. It doesn't really matter what game it is. If there's a multiplayer and I can go in and I can fight somebody else, I'm for it.
I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I'm looking forward to doing that. So I'm glad it's working.
So my thing, like, I really do want to experience this, like, on the PC side, because I really want to try this with the flight stick. I tell you, just using the control in your hand, like, it feels okay, but I can just tell I'll probably just have so much of experience just using this on the flight stick, using the actual throttle in there. Like, it just feels like that experience of what you really want to get comes from that. I'm not ready to shell out just yet for my VR running unit just yet. So I'll eventually move up to that, but I definitely want to experience the VR aspect just from the way that it appears playing it on console. Just moving it with the joystick and panning left to right at times, you can tell it's more of a natural feel when you just have a VR headset on. You're just turning your head and doing those type of things. But
yeah, I Jen and I jumped in for a little while and we tried to partner up to do some of the fleet battles against AI specifically, just to see, kind of what it is. I will say this. I would prefer even if you're playing against AI, if you could have AI controlled co-op partners.
Mm-hmm.
So it like requires you to partner up before you go into a match. And then you either have the option to run solo or run co-op. And when you run co-op, it does automatic matchmaking. So it will take anybody that you squatted with automatically who you're in together and try to pull you into the same match and then match you with other people,
Gotcha.
To get you the other slots that need to be filled. The important thing about it is you need to round out your team. Mm-hmm. You can't just go into battle with a bunch of TIE fighters.
A bunch of X-Wings.
You need bombers. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get B-Wings, Y-Wings. You gotta actually round out your squad.
And I like that.
So I do too. So my thing is now getting like 2 other people that we can jump in with and have on a squad where we can actually say to each other, all right, look, I'm running this, you run this, you run this, you know what I mean? And kind of put a plan together so that we have a plan of attack, so you're not just kind of out there. Everybody kind of wants to jump in a TIE fighter. Yeah. It's just you need to communicate.
That one Imperial ship that can like block your radar and stuff, and you need them all. You just can't have running gun.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind, to Jokes' point, if you don't want to do the VR like I'm trying not to do, the joystick is a really nice medium in between those experiences. So it really bridges that gap.
I would imagine that it has to be. I like thumbsticks. I'm cool with that. And I play in everything inverted anyway. So it's relatively natural for me. Don't laugh at that, Jokes. That's how it's supposed to be. Inverted for the win. Oh, man. Are you terrible in it, Ty? That's cool. We'll get in and we'll squat up together. We'll just die together.
What I had to do was change my controller setting when I got in. I had to switch it to the Aviator one.
Yeah, but I think I know why. But remember, because you're left-handed, I think that more or less is the reason why you had to make that switch. Because you were just...
It was killing me at first.
Yeah.
Dig it. I mean, I'll admit that, like, my ship tends to turn. Like, I'd get sideways real fast in that joint. I'm just getting used to it. Like, it's space. Everything is up. It doesn't matter. You're always in So, like, really, it just takes a moment to get used to it, and you're fine, really. I'm digging it. Ty, we'll get in and we'll try to run something. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, but we'll get in and we'll run something. We'll definitely do that. Listen, I want to get off of this. I want to talk about The Mandalorian. Now, listen, somebody just wrote in the comments that they didn't finish.
I saw it finish. Yeah, season 1.
Let me start by saying party foul on you.
Yeah, I was like, you messing up. You need to go binge that right now. As soon as this is over, you need to go binge that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go finish it. I don't want to do spoilers, but I can't promise you anything. Like, things are about to happen here. So this is what I want to do. Let me start by asking, what are the things you want to see in season 2? I'm gonna go to you first, Yenside. What do you want to see happen in season 2?
All right, as we all know, there was a little bit of a spoiler trailer. I don't know if it was a fan trailer or whatever trailer. You got who appears to be like a Boba Fett walking out of the Starlight Pit. I would like to see him in there. I don't know that we're going to see that. I know that we were left with that cliffhanger from season, and I hate to spoil that for Doctor Who over there. But if you haven't seen it yet, you got 26 days. Get on the horse. But you hear some spurs, and that's kind of reminiscent to a character, and so I'd like to see that happen. I want to see a little bit more of what's going on. I've seen the trailers. I have kind of an idea with planets. I'm thinking they're going to Ilum, where the crystals are. There's just a lot of really good lore pulled in there. And if you've played Fallen Order, you'll also see Ilum featured in there, and that goes back to the old, SWG Star Wars Galaxy days, all that kind of good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I dig it. I'm saying in the chat, listen, Jay Roberts, it's always you, man.
It's Jay Roberts.
It's always you.
It is.
Just finish the show. Just finish the show. It's a good show. And listen, here's the thing. It's great to pull from sources that are inspiring to you. And also, when you have the kind of references that you're getting in Mandalorian that are specific to old westerns, specific to like Kurosawa stuff, these are the kind of things, shows, movies, types of cinematography that aren't seen and or used often at all anymore.
Well,
And it is an opportunity to introduce a younger audience, not necessarily you jokes, but a younger audience to just seriously to a type that they just haven't seen before, and it maybe opens the door for them to go back and see some of those great films and things like that. I think that specifically the way that it's done pays pretty solid tribute to what those shows and films were. But I definitely think you should just stomach it out and finish watching the show. That's the only way for you to know if it gets better going into the next season anyway. Ty, I do feel like we'll see a lightsaber battle of some sort.
But it's not a Jedi show. It's not.
That's what I want to.
I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a lightsaber battle. It's cool if somebody whips one out and he's shooting blasters or whatever. But I don't want to see no Jedi combat, no Sith combat. I don't want to see none of that.
Yeah,
we're going to see Jedi.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't go that far. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like lightsaber on lightsaber combat. I don't want this in this story.
Look, I'm cool with seeing it, but it's just not overdoing it. Like, look, if for whatever reason, you know what, there's two Jedi, a Jedi and a Sith, whatever it may lead to, well, a certain thing that you do see in season 1, closer to the end of it, I want to see that battle
at the very end of it.
Yeah, I want to see that battle with a lightsaber. But, if it happens, just don't make it like a Dragon Ball Z type thing, and it's only supposed to be like 5 minutes, but then somehow it spans over like 2 episodes for some stupid reason. Like, I don't want that to happen. But if we get a quick lightsaber battle, happens, it's a one-off, I'm cool with it. But yeah, not in every episode though.
What do you guys
like stomaching Apocalypse War.
Unless Baby Yoda picks up one, then that's a different story. That's a different story.
No, that would make me upset. That would piss me off. First of all, okay, let me ask this. Let's do this. Is Baby Yoda getting a name?
If he gets a name, it's not going to be to the very end. Like the very end, if he gets a name.
And if he gets one, I think it may more of maybe we'll actually get the race. And maybe he doesn't get an actual name, but we just call him by like whatever the race is, like a youngling or something like that. We get that type of thing. Don't even think that.
You don't think?
No, Lucas holds that too closely to his chest. He's never released it. He won't. Yeah, he just keeps that really close to his cup. I think it's something with him. He won't do it. But Rosario Dawson coming in as
Ahsoka.
Wait to see that.
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
Almost begs for a lightsaber battle. I'm just saying.
Yep.
That's going to be the one you get with Gideon with Darksaber. That's going to be your saber duel if you get one.
It just kind of has to happen. Like I'm not saying you can't do a Star Wars story without it, because obviously they did.
Yeah.
But at some point, you have already taken very small steps at like digging into Jedi lore.
Mm-hmm.
And the first trailer for this is basically all about that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally like, you want me to take this child to a bunch of witches. Like that's what we doing?
Mhm.
Yes, that's what we're doing.
Jay
So-
Roberts said the baby's name is Carl.
Carl is the name of the
Carl!
character. Bro. What's wrong with y'all?
Oh, now Rick has the guest star somehow. Carl!
Big
Right.
Yoda ate
Will,
he was chewing. Carl, he was chewing.
right, right. All right, look. Will Baby Yoda speak English?
No,
No.
no.
You mean
No.
basic? He speaks basic.
Maybe just like a word. Maybe he'll just say one word.
Yeah, basic. I mean, you know, we don't know if. I mean, I guess we know, but like, clearly, Baby understands what's going on
Mhm.
because in the trailer, when it was popping off, Slim was like, "Yeah,
he was
let me
like,
just
I'm
close
hiding.
this up."
I don't want nothing to do with it. I know what he
You know
does.
what
Man.
And here's the thing about that, and this is one of the things that excites me about this show, because y'all know I'm all about the action. I love some story, but I'm all about the action. And like, this is a baby. I mean, 50 years old, but a baby that essentially force choked a giant rhinoceros type animal and lifted it in the air and used force healing, which we've not seen anybody else
Mhm.
like do. This is a clearly powerful and if you feel like the dude who's walking with you in your baby carriage is a threat, Slim's a
Yeah,
threat. Like
yeah.
So
the Mandalorian is basically RoboCop.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah, you bring up a good point about the force heal. We've never seen it. Did anyone see, episode 4, New Hope, where Obi-Wan or Kenobi he bends out and basically force healed Luke after being smashed in the skull by a Tusken?
I mean,
I'm splitting hairs. I know.
I don't know if we would call it that, but sure.
Right,
Sure.
right.
Look, I like the direction that this story went in.
Mhm.
I definitely feel like the way the last season ended was on an anime level cliffhanger. Because really, you don't know for sure that you're getting another season. The way they've been filming this stuff, you just don't know.
Right.
Right.
And I'm probably more excited about the idea of them introducing characters I don't know and haven't heard of, like a Cara Dune. You know what I mean? Like I want there to be new characters that I enjoy.
Mhm.
The way I've enjoyed following these other characters for so long, the idea of ending the Skywalker story in the theaters is important to me because it's carried on for so long and there is so much lore and so much story to be told that can be built around other characters for the mainstream.
Mhm.
Because traditionally, all of those stories, they've existed and they've done great for years, but Disney killed all that lore. Made none of it canon. So now we're in a place where we can really start to build on that and show things beyond what that original trilogy started, in a mainstream way.
I like
And
to
so I'm here for it. Say that again, Yen.
I'd like to see some Thrawn.
Thrawn. Yeah.
Agreed. I think the show's gonna be really good. I'm here for it. It will get me to tune in every week.
Facts.
And I mean, now here's where I'm at on this one. We had this discussion when Disney Plus was first gonna roll out. We talked about the idea of as a streaming service, them making the conscious decision to release episodes week by week instead of dropping it all and letting you binge watch it. Do we still feel like dropping it episode by episode and carrying it from week to week is the best way to do it, or would you rather them just give it to you and let you binge it and be done?
Nope. Week by week. Perfectly fine with it. That's the perfect
You know,
way.
I think that's a good model for them.
But
with
you
the show
hate
that
it.
worked well the first time around. But yes, me personally,
Yeah, I know you hate it.
I'm a binger, so just that's just me. But I think it's a good model for them.
Sin, I agree with you 100%. Me and the wife are big bingers. We've been watching Lovecraft Country, and we wait every Sunday, and we looked at each other after the last one was like, God, why don't you just do it? And we were like, but I love doing it this way. It gives me something to think about.
I feel you. Like after the first episode, I was so like by the time the first episode was over, I was so into it. I was like, yeah, I needed to watch this so we could talk about it. But I just need the episode right now, and I'm not used to sitting here waiting. I'm used to just bop, bop, go. So
I think
you don't appreciate it when you can binge it. You really appreciate Raised by Wolves, another great one. You've got a week to think about it. So I like this format better.
I think that, man, especially in a time like this, water cooler chat and talk is so lost.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, there's so much to watch. There's so much content. There's so much going on that having something that just, all right, Friday, I know I'm watching this, and then I'm going to watch this because I need to catch up on so-and-so, right? You don't feel like you're behind or you're missing something because you're not, you know what I mean? Like, if you end up behind, then you can just binge it. And if you're a binger, then that works for you. But the ability to say, all right, I'm going to watch Lovecraft Country on Sunday because that's coming on Sunday. And I know I'm going to watch so-and-so on this day. I'm behind on such and such. I'm going to watch 2 episodes of that on this day.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like kind of keeping it going that way. And honestly, when you're paying monthly for something, this is a good business decision for them because it's just like, we're going to release stuff that's going to take longer than a month. We're at least going to get, even if we give you an introductory price for the first month, we're going to get you for that second month.
Got you for the next month.
You know what I mean? We'll at least get you for the second month. And then once you do that and you start to discover the other stuff that's there, because when you're paying a monthly fee, there's a much higher probability that you are going to go and at least look at what else is available. And I'm going to tell you how they got me, because I definitely, other than Lovecraft Country, had no intentions of keeping HBO Max. And then Steven Universe. And then
got you.
Looney Tunes. And like it just kept happening. I was like, oh, I gotta watch that. Oh, they don't have that on anything else anymore, or I have to pay them a bulk fee or whatever to get it. So it's like, once you're in, as long as they have content, you stay.
Yep. And
by dragging it out over 13 weeks, 2.5 months, they're at least going to get 2 monthly payments out of you just for you to finish the one show that caught you in the first place.
Yeah.
You bring up a really good point with the not having water cooler talk, because we are in the situation that we're in, and it's transforming a lot of industries. Movies, I'm sure you're going to talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, what it's done to me is I will, or we will, not watch a particular back-to-back episode like week to week. We'll save up 2 or 3 and feel like we're binging because we know we're not going to get, like, it's spoiled at work.
Right. Right. I mean, that's a fair thing too. I mean, for some, listen, for some people, there's stuff on the internet, there's nothing else to do, and chances are, if you're not super careful, you're gonna get spoiled on the internet.
Yep.
Facebook will spoil you. It will spoil
I am so trained in the art of non-spoilers.
Oh, you are the ninja of missing spoilers.
I'm just trained. Like if I know I want to watch like The Boys when it's over, when I say I don't look at anything with boys in it whatsoever. Just.
You guys
I was about to say no. No.
Once it came out, I was like, oh, well.
Too late. Can't take it back.
Let's just roll with it.
It's the internet. It's out there.
I knew you knew as soon as you said it. So look, here's the thing. I want to talk, because we're already on HBO Max at the moment. That's a Warner Brothers thing. Please, for a moment, can we talk? I don't know if all of y'all. Well, I dropped this in Teams for y'all to look at, but they announced today there's a new animated show coming to HBO Max called Bat Wheels.
What?
Bat Wheels.
It is. It is. I'm laughing, man.
Don't die, son.
Listen.
Oh, go and get it out.
It is basically Thomas the Tank Engine and like Paw Patrol meets Batman in Gotham City. So essentially, the Bat computer has made all the vehicles in the Bat world sentient. They are essentially children and that don't know anything and are given life for the first time. And they all have names. Sin.
Oh, I'm
Tell us
about
their
to pull
names.
up those names.
Oh, I know you are. That's
'Cause-
why. I need to listen.
Okay, let's see where they at.
Sit down, because
You did
I know
say
you have their names. Bat Wheels. Like Hot Wheels.
Yep, but just Bat.
All one word. Bat Wheels.
Bat Wheels.
Thomas
But it's
meets Fist
definitely
of the
not
North
gonna
Star.
be Thomas meets Fist of the North Star. Definitely not that.
Woo!
And, you
Come
know,
on, where are their names at in this stupid thing?
you want me to pull it? Hold on. I think I have it. Hold on. I got it. Here we go. So,
I see it now.
let me just run this down.
Oh, it's like
The heroes with the capes usually have all the fun. The trusty vehicles that get them around are finally about to get their time in the spotlight. HBO Max and Warner Brothers Animation have announced a new preschool series called Bat Wheels, and it follows the young group of sentient superpower vehicles that fight crime in Gotham City. The series is currently in development and will air on both Cartoon Network and HBO Max. In the series, the Batmobile and other Gotham vehicles have been given sentient life by the Bat computer, essentially making them kids with no life experience. The team includes the Batmobile, the Batgirl Cycle, the Redbird, the Batwing, and the Bat Truck. You can check out the synopsis below. And so here are the names.
Oh boy.
Having just been created by the Bat computer, our heroes are essentially kids with no life experience, led by Bam, the Batmobile.
Bam the Bat.
Bat Wheels, BB, the Batgirl Cycle, Red, the Redbird, Jet, the Batwing, and Buff, the Bat Truck. That's right. Bam,
Buff.
BB, Red, Jet, and Buff.
Buff.
And they must navigate the growing pains of being a newly formed superhero team, as well as the growing pains that come with just being a kid. Listen, I have concerns.
They're
Oh,
very
you
much
do?
Or I
warranted.
voiced them. Hey, Roberts. The Legend of the Overfiend cannot. I mean,
Oh my gosh, no.
we are not doing that.
Yes, Heather
you, Heather.
came in and was like, we will now speak of the
Thank
overfield.
Listen. Jokes, I'm going to you first because you're the youngest in the group. How you feel about the preschool Batman show?
I don't know. I really don't know. You know, and I can watch the shows that come on cartoon and see. I want to try to give it the benefit of the doubt because I'll be real with you. Like, let's take Teen Titans Go. When we first heard about it, we thought it was going to be garbage, and it turned out to be the hottest thing that they could have possibly done. I don't think
that show is phenomenal.
I don't think this is going to quite fit in that bubble, but meh.
No.
I don't. But as of right now, I just see toy sales. That's really the only thing I'm really seeing out of this right now. But I'll watch an episode and see how this goes. But I don't know. I don't.
Oh, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it.
I'm only gonna watch the one episode and hate it.
I'm all about having shows for preschoolers.
Stop it, J. Robert.
I listen. I saw it. I was gonna ignore it, but yeah, I'm all about that. I do really believe that it's important to have shows like that, and I don't think Cartoon Network really has anything like that, and I don't think HBO Max has a lot of stuff like that. But I mean, it's HBO. They also have Sesame Street, technically.
The conductor.
Yes, Alfred. Yes. Here's my concern. AT&T, as the owners of Warner Brothers and proprietors of all things WB, is this how we're going to save WB? Yeah, if you have watched this show before, you know that I have been a person who has been saying the issue that DC has is that unlike Marvel, they don't have that Disney push behind them that gets them into the zeitgeist of just everyday kids. Batman is popular with young kids. There's no two ways about it. But not like Spider-Man, not even like Captain America or Iron Man, honestly, anymore, because they have managed to create shows that speak to children, and those are the kind of things that make you lifelong fans. So if you catch them in preschool, you know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily a bad idea. But is this the way we're going to save WB? Because I'm not feeling real good about that.
The toy and apparel line better be phenomenal for these preschoolers when they come out.
Oh, you know how many? They're going to have different versions of everything. Like, the Batmobile is going to have all the attachments. But you're going to have to buy all those attachments separate, whatever type of weapons or whatever they're going to do for it. You're buying each one of them things individually. They're going to
talk, have little voices, you know, those type of little cars. They're going to have those, you know, have little onesies and t-shirts. Yeah.
Trapper
Yep.
Yes. I mean, listen, there is certainly a smart business move here when you take something like this and you push it towards children. We talked about how Harley Quinn can't decide whether she belongs on superhero girls or whether she belongs in adult porn industry. That's a thing that they got to figure out. So Batman's sort of safe. I mean, everything happens at night. Everything's kind of dark. You know what I mean? There is a Crypto the Super Dog, you know what I mean, show. Like, it's not like they haven't done something along these lines before. But I mean, I think it will help. You've got to figure something out, because what's currently happening to the industry, you don't. Right now, one of the terrible things is that you don't have movies to put out that can allow you to sell toys and attach toys to them. We're seeing probably the worst run in probably toy sales that's happened ever, with stuff like Wonder Woman's toys and Black Widow's toys and so forth, because there actually are no movies around them to actually help push and do the marketing for the toys to get young people involved. And now that that's a thing, I have another question. Theaters are shutting down.
Yep.
Regal is going to close as of this Thursday all of their U.S. stores and all of their U.S. theaters and all of their UK theaters, because, according to them, there are no blockbusters. There are no big movies to draw crowds in, to bring money in. And obviously, this has an effect on us and pop culture and things that are happening. And they're saying that part of the reason for this is because movies are being pushed back.
Yep.
So the new Bond film got pushed back, right? Black Widow pushed back to next year. Batman pushed to 2022, which is interesting, specifically because they pushed Doom back after they just released the trailer. They pushed Doom back, and they pushed Doom back to the same date as the Batman originally. So the Batman was going to have to move, or something else was going to have to give. These are both WB films. Again, WB. What are we doing? So now the question is, Wonder Woman is still slated to drop on December 25th.
No. So is Free Guy.
Well, yeah, Free Guy is slated to come out December
20th, I thought.
December 11th.
Oh, okay.
Free Guy, again, just put out a trailer for that like earlier this week and the last week.
That one might get the double put it in theater / video on demand treatment. I got a feeling they might try to pull that one with that. But Wonder Woman,
feels like a Netflix original.
Wonder Woman is going to get thrown into 2021.
She's getting the boot to 2021. Yeah, she's getting the boot
to thrown over there.
Wonder Woman's getting moved. Yeah. How far back?
And I can't see another push. I have got to see that movie. I am so looking forward to that movie.
So why don't they just put it on HBO Max?
Well, because HBO Max, in my opinion, I'm sorry, it sucks. I have it, but here's the funny thing. Amazon and HBO haven't come up with an agreement for you to be able to get the app downloaded on the Amazon stick. So you then have to have Samsung Television, who is put together, was it 2016 or higher or something like that, for you to get the app. So I don't have that. So I want to see the South Park thing, which I haven't been able to watch because I know, right? We'll get into that. I know. You've got jokes. I want to see it too. But that kind of stuff is irritating with these streaming services and Amazon with the deals. That just frustrates me.
I mean, here's the thing. There are plenty of ways, technically, for you to get your HBO Max, right? I mean, for them, like I use it on my Xbox, on your laptop. So for them, it's like, all right, well, take your laptop and run it to your TV, or mirror your laptop or your phone on your TV if you really have to do it. I mean, there are ways to do it that if people were doing it, Amazon would probably budge because there's something in it for them. You know what I mean?
So we're all Fire Sticks. Then you can do it with Google Chrome or Apple whatever, and all this.
Or Roku or an Apple TV.
Right.
I mean, there are any number of ways you can find ways to get the app that you want on your TV. It doesn't have to be through Amazon. And while Amazon does have a relatively cost-effective way for you to do it, you get a Roku box for what Amazon charges for a Fire Stick. You know what I mean? And it works the same way. And that's money that Amazon loses. So at some point,
gotta give.
For HBO, it is, what do we have to do to convince Amazon that this is important enough that people will go buy something else in order to watch it? You know what I mean? Like, that's what that comes down to.
It's weird because I can watch Lovecraft on HBO Max, but if I want to watch Raised by Wolves, I got to go on to BTV. If you guys know what BTV is.
I mean, I do, but I mean, I watch it on HBO Max. Do you have both? Like, do you have the free version of HBO Max?
No, we're actually paying for it.
Then I don't know why you can't watch it. You should be able to watch it.
You know, all of those when you have it downloaded on a Fire Stick for some reason. It's stupid.
Ah, I see. It's specific to the Fire Stick. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I mean, again, that's an issue. I mean, that's
crap.
But at the same time, here's the thing. Them releasing it to HBO Max wouldn't be, putting Wonder Woman 84 on HBO Max wouldn't be the way that they could really make money.
Nope.
It would be a way to draw people in, but the way to make money would be to release it on demand
and do it as a premium release,
whether you have HBO Max or not. Get it through the cable company, get it through any other service that allows you to do on demand, like Trolls did. You know what I mean? You know what Disney Plus did with Mulan was really only a thing for Disney Plus. You had to have Disney Plus to take advantage of it.
Right.
I think the mistake that they made was they probably could have charged $30 and had everybody get it, and put it on Disney Plus for like $20, and people with Disney Plus probably would have got it, and then they have it afterwards, right? And they probably would have made a lot more money by putting it everywhere. The thing that becomes an issue is the deals that these companies have in place with the theaters that say you're not allowed to release it until after a certain amount of time for it being in the theater. But now the theaters don't exist. So if you take away the theaters, that is a vicious cycle, right? Theaters are saying that they can't stay open because there are no blockbusters, and they're not putting out the blockbusters because people can't go to the theater or won't go to the theater because they don't feel like it's safe. But they will spend the money if they have it to watch it at home. Yeah, so at some point, those contracts become null and void, right?
They have
close
to.
the theater.
Like there has to be some type of clause in there for like. Granted, obviously the pandemic is not something that anyone could plan out, but there has to be some type of clause or something in there under extraneous circumstances or things that, you know, hey, these releases or things have got to happen. Because, I mean, you can only, like, granted, hopefully everything does start going in a better light as we get into the new year, but let's say for some reason it doesn't, you can't keep pushing and shoving these movies back and back even further. Like, I get it. 2020, like, Sin, like you said once before, it's like, just throw the movies away for 2020, just shift them into 2021, and just have be at it. But if we get 2021 and we're still in the same boat, you're going to keep shoving them further down the road? Like,
Yeah, y'all got a year to figure out what's best, that everybody can make some money and we can see this product instead of just sitting there collecting dust on the shelves.
Right. If that's the
I'm
case,
not
You
even
know,
going to say
plenty
you
of
have
time
to.
to figure something
if
out.
if that's the case, give the premium movies to the theaters. Like AMC has their own app that you can get. I think Regal may have one, they've talked about it. Give it to them and just let them be the ones that you have to pay the $30 or whatever to, and then shell it out. I get it; they don't necessarily make the money off the movie tickets. It comes from their concessions. Like I understand that, but that
Right.
would be the only way that you can still kind of live up to that agreement where, hey, look, maybe a certain movie is only on AMC. To me, that doesn't necessarily make sense, but maybe you make a certain movie exclusive to AMC, you make it a movie exclusive to Regal or whoever, and you have it go on there. Like, I feel like that would be the opposite way to do it, but obviously, like, anything that's, like, MCU related, it's like Disney's going to want to put it on Disney+. Plus. Like, there's no two ways about it. They're going to want it on Disney+, Plus, but to honor said agreements, I think the only way you could do that is just have each of the theaters showcase it on their own platforms. But
I mean, go ahead, Yen.
one of the problems with doing all the stuff streaming from home is, okay, when you go to the movie theater, everybody wants to see it. Let's say the four of us want to see one movie. We're going to spend 4 tickets.
true.
When you have it streaming at home, maybe we go, hey, let's split the cost 4 ways, and we all watch it in one location. There's that aspect of it. I get it. You make movies. It's expensive. You got to pay the actors, this, that. I get it. It's fine. But that's the problem with doing it at home. You got a group of people who are pitching in and getting it.
I mean, here's the thing. You're right. But again, ticket sales won't save theaters, right? Because ticket sales for them really only equate. You almost have to look at ticket sales at a movie theater the way you look at protection plans sold at the electronics store. Because you know that there's only a certain number of people who are actually going to buy an electronic piece of equipment and buy the protection plan, right? It's the same thing in a movie theater. You know that there are a certain number of people that are going to buy tickets, but are not going to go to the concessions at all. You know that there are a certain number of people that are going to buy tickets and they're going to bring their own stuff in, or they're going to go out to eat beforehand or plan to go eat afterwards. And because theater chains themselves don't make money on ticket sales, they make their money on the concessions. What's that?
This is where it is, and then I'm going to sum it up in 1 word or 2 words: the experience of being into a theater with other people reacting the same way you're reacting. It's an emotional connection with a group of strangers watching the same thing and feeling the exact same thing in a screen that's larger than life that you can't duplicate in your basement, no matter how much you have, well, unless you're like, super rich, but
Right.
it's that experience. I don't mind paying $75 for a bucket of popcorn and a soda. I go there to see it with other people in the screen. That's really what's going to save you, is that experience.
You're absolutely right. The experience, though, is one that currently people are afraid of. It is that experience of being in a room with a bunch of strangers.
I get it.
Screaming and whatever. That is the issue that we have now. So
COVID has changed everything.
you can no longer sell the experience. The experience now is, oh man, I can watch this brand new movie at my house right now. The experience now is turning the bootlegger's experience into the official experience. Because those people who would go and find the guy that stood on the corner that sold you a disc for $10 or whatever, and the quality was terrible, people were still doing it. Bootleggers were still making crazy money because people wanted the movie and they wanted to watch it at home, and they were willing to do it and say that they got a deal. The idea now is, how do the movie theater companies, how do the production houses take that bootlegger experience and make you feel like you're getting that at home, right? How do they turn that into something extra and additional for you? Do they have to start doing deals with your local grocery stores and saying, hey, if you pay to download this movie early, we're going to give you a voucher that lets you get a discount when you go to the grocery store and you buy popcorn and drinks and whatever. You're doing a deal with Coke. You're doing a deal with Sour Patch Kids. We're doing a deal with Nabisco, or whoever it is, so that, hey, if you pay to download this movie, we're going to email you to that email address that you have to sign up with for any service. We're going to email you a voucher that you can take and use so that you can buy your concessions. You know what I mean? And have an experience that is similar to that at home. And if companies like AMC or Regal don't start to do the Starbucks thing and have their own popcorn and their own brand, like, so that stuff can be somewhere where you can get it. If you can't sell me some internet package where I can do a monthly payment, and you're sending me popcorn and drinks and some kind of snack in some kind of mystery box that I get every month. You know what I mean? So that when a new movie comes out, I have it. What are you going to do to stay in business?
A Lowe's Loot Crate?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey, look, it's good idea.
Depending on what you put in there.
They have to adjust going forward. We're not going back into the theaters, I mean, in any way like it used to be anytime soon. So ideas like all those ones that Gage said, the things that they should honestly be looking at going into the future, because, I mean, things are changed, things are different, and they have to adapt to this new way of things. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, you could do a deal. If you're AMC, right now you're supposed to be in a room doing negotiations with Warner Brothers to have a Wonder Woman crate that has whatever the crap was you were going to make, whatever that popcorn bucket was you were going to have, send that to people.
I'll buy it.
Out to people. Send them the cup. Send them the
poster, all that stuff, yep.
You know what I mean? Whatever it is you're going to have, send it
and
to them.
You know what? It can come with
this service.
Come with the download code or something for the movie. Like, who
exclusive.
knows?
Hey, throw an exclusive Funko Pop in one of those things, and you already going to seal that deal right then and there.
Yep.
And you get a chance of it being a chase at the same time. You will have people going absolutely nuts over those things.
I mean, here's the thing. If you start to really do that and you think about it the right way, you then turn into the possibility of going beyond movies that were supposed to be in the theater, because you could be doing it for a show like The Mandalorian, right? You can do that deal and say, hey, we want to be the ones to send you something out so that you have this specific Mandalorian thing that nobody else has, that nobody else can get. You know what I mean? We've got the one Baby Yoda thing that everybody else jumped on. We're the only ones who have it. This is how you get it, right? You do something through us, and you pay us to get that, and we'll give you something. You know what I mean? Whatever. It could be a code that opens bonus content.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes stuff, something like that. Like the kind of crap we used to pay for extra DVDs for.
You better patent it right now. Better patent it right now, because that's a great idea. I like that.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You'll see how that typically happens here, and we start talking about that stuff here, and then randomly it changes slightly and shows up. Or what's going to happen is Gage is going to get kicked out, because when he starts getting onto stuff, he typically gets kicked out, and
his feed gets shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Pixar still has a movie that's slated to come out in November. Soul. Still supposed to come out in November.
It's not.
That to me is a straight to Disney Plus. Why would you even? Don't push it back. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't try to do both. Like Tenet was the litmus test.
Yeah.
Let's put it out. Let's see how it does. Let's see if it draws people in. It didn't come close to doing what they needed to do. What you got?
I haven't seen it yet. Was it good? Because I heard.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I'm not going to the theater to see it.
Put it out. That's what I'm saying. Put it out. I will pay you to watch it.
I will too.
Most people will. The other thing about that is you have to understand, again, as the only person on this particular panel that has a large family and has had to take children to the theater. A single trip to the theater can easily cost over $100. A single trip. Easily. Right? With 3 children and popcorn and drinks. And because they decided popcorn and drinks weren't enough, now it's pizza and hot dogs and nuggets and all of that.
God.
It's enough.
Pretzel bites with cheese.
There goes your series. There's a Series S right there. You just lost your Series S.
So when you start saying to people, hey, look, pay us $30. You can watch this right now from the comfort of your home. If they say, you know what, pay us $50, and we'll send you a family package that has popcorn and has so-and-so and has such and such and, whatever, right? Do a deal where you can say, you know what, pick your snacks. Pick the ones that you want included in the box. Here's what the choices are. We got all this stuff sitting in the theater and not doing anything anyway.
Yeah, send it out.
Right?
Do it.
Send it out to the people.
You got to do something with all that inventory. And right now, I'm thinking Halloween is the time to make it happen. If you're I don't get out there and catch these trick-or-treaters outside of these
Yeah, because they gotta figure something out. Because all that food stuff they gonna have in it, them things got expiration dates on them. So that's the other thing to think about at the same time. And it ain't like you can just put some of that stuff in a freezer and let it sit there for like a few months.
You ever have frozen donut? That don't work. That don't work after that.
You're right. Here's the thing. If you can remember Blockbuster, I always remember going to Blockbuster before I had the knowledge I have because I worked at a movie theater. I remember going to Blockbuster and being like, they're stupid. Why do they sell the big movie theater box of candy in here for the same price as the theater when I can go to the grocery store that's in the same parking lot and get the candy for way cheaper? Clearly it worked. Clearly Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and everybody else was making money selling you the movie theater candy so that you felt like you were getting that experience at your house. Period. They had to be making money. You know as well as I do that it's way overpriced. A box, listen to me, a box of Butterfingers that's this big, that has this much Butterfingers in it. Bruh, listen to what I'm telling you. Is less Butterfingers in there than the regular pack. You just paid for the air and the box. Yeah. That's it. And it worked.
The air, just the air of Butterfingers. Smells like Butterfingers.
It worked for decades. For decades. Right? So, if they don't pivot, then what happens to them is the same thing that happened to Blockbuster. Because digital film, DVD, the ability to stream, the internet, this has been coming for a long time. It's happening to movie theaters right now. It's the same thing that was destined to happen to cars. Electric cars are going to take over. It's going to be a thing. You're just going to have to deal with the fact that oil companies are going to start to lose money because people won't need oil in cars. Right. They won't need to change brake pads. They won't need spark plugs. That's a thing.
Same thing happened with television. I mean, you look at NBC's, that they have their own streaming services now because everyone's doing the streaming. So
exactly.
It's the same thing.
Right. I mean, 15 years ago, it was major television broadcasting companies trying to block your ability to watch their shows on the internet, doing everything they could to block web TV, to block, you know what I mean? Everything they could.
All they want. That's crazy.
And Hulu was really like the first major player out of the gate to just be like, yeah, we just let you watch yesterday's episodes for free, right here. And then when Netflix took off and became an app you could watch on anything, and Hulu tried to do it too, they still had stuff you could only watch for free because they were getting paid by ads on the internet. And so now that's where everybody makes their money, is in ad revenue, right? And so streaming services, monthly payments, and ad revenue are probably the two biggest markets. They are the newest thing. Those two things and information. They are the new black hole.
And by the way, this entire episode is now being brought to you by the Loading Snacks movie loot crate online. So let me know.
That's right. That's right. It's happening right now in front of you. Hey, listen, Jay Roberts. I know you remember Blockbuster. You could have managed a Blockbuster. I could have. I'm sure. Look, I am more concerned, especially because I'm seeing the same thing with a lot of music venues, right? Music venues are shutting down. Can't do live performances, right?
All those places for large gatherings,
artists are having to find ways to make money by
unless you live in
doing
Florida.
Zoom presentations of concerts.
So that, or they're doing Cameo.
Right.
Oh, dog, Cameo is. Whew.
But you're beginning to see artists and so forth just like jump on Twitch and play video games to keep an audience and to talk to people and so forth. That's a real thing.
It's talking about that. What's pretty interesting, and some companies are trying to get at like their employees for doing that. Like WWE right now, and I know you know a little bit of this. A lot of the stars have like Twitch channels and all this stuff that they're doing. So the new thing that's just come out is now WWE wants to actually allow them to have Twitch channels and cameos and all of that, but now they want to cut of it. They want to cut of it, and they want control over it. So, in the crazy part, we won't get into this. This is a whole rigmarole of things. WWE stars are independent contractors still, so they still should be able to necessarily do these things outside of it. But of course, they're still being treated as if they're 100% under WWE, and that's a whole nother story for another day. But
I thought they were supposed to be doing that stuff live in Florida.
Oh no, there's stuff going live in Florida right now as far as the actual wrestling shows. Like AEW's been doing it now for a good couple of weeks. WWE actually just experimented with it with NXT this past weekend. But don't be surprised sooner or later before all wrestling shows are just in Florida and they're just back to full capacity. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. It's gonna be scary.
When I say Florida, I like to refer to it as the old country because it's basically that.
I mean, listen, Twitch is going to continue to be a force to be reckoned with. And the idea, clearly, what Twitch is doing is lucrative, and it's lucrative for WWE's wrestlers. They are making their money by creating and doing their own shows and having their own content, most of which is video game based, if it's not cosplay based or something like that. And, I mean, you can look at up, down, down. I mean, anybody who's doing it, and so many wrestlers are so into the stuff. It all came up on the stuff that we love.
Yeah.
So they all, you know what I mean? They're coming to the ring dressed as, Vegeta, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, that's a very, very, very real thing. And so the idea of wrestling and the way that wrestling is and always has been a part of pop culture, the way that the rest of pop culture is beginning to invade wrestling is having an effect, and is making enough money that they're like, we want a piece of it.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to. And the belief that we own your name, or we made you, therefore we deserve a cut of whatever it is that you're making, is a little more than ludicrous. And I saw that they put out, you have, here's by this date you have to turn over,
you gotta turn over the rights
to your stuff to us. I was like, we're not doing that. I mean, again, that's where we are. We are in a place where the traditional way of doing things doesn't work anymore. And the internet has very quickly become the place where that happens. And all of that sits on, half of it sits on Amazon's backbone. The rest of it is moving to the cloud. That's Google and Microsoft. So, and probably, honestly, some Chinese company like Tencent that most people never heard of. But they're going to own all that traffic.
And don't discount Zoom. Everything with meetings and stuff, huge.
It has, what has happened in the pandemic in more ways than one has proved that you can get a lot of work done by never leaving your house.
Yep. They said it couldn't be done. Folks said it could not be done.
Can you say that again so I don't have to go back at some point?
They said it could not be done, and guess what? It's being done on a daily basis now.
2 of my work days are done from home.
Exactly. All of Sin's work days are done from home.
Yeah.
And it just proves that they don't need to have you in the office. They don't. But listen, when you have stuff like that, and you get paid by the government, you get a grant, and you get a certain amount of money, and they have to spend that money in order to be able to get that money again the following year, you need to rent that building and force people to come to that building to work. Or you got to prove that you need to pay for every employee's internet and their computers, and what that's going to cost you to get that money. As a person, listen, I spent enough years working in Best Buy, working in electronics, and having people walk in and just be like, we need to buy like 10 TVs because we got this money, we got to spend it. We don't spend it, we don't get the grant.
Boy.
We got to spend it. We need these computers, we need whatever. So we're just getting rid of all the brand new computers we just got 6 months ago so we can get new computers because we got to spend the rest of this money before the fiscal year is over. That's a real thing. So if as all of these companies that are going through this kind of transition are looking at their numbers, looking at their fiscal years, looking at the amount of money that AMC lost this year, you now have to come up with a way to recoup that. And you're going to have to do it by bringing down the amount you expect to get because you're gonna have to flip all those properties, sell those properties, turn them into something else. They could build cars in them. They could, you know what I mean? Like they'll be internet hubs. They will turn movie theaters into cloud streaming, internet database hubs. They will, because what else are you gonna do with it?
Mm-hmm.
You
True.
just that's what will happen with spaces like that, because otherwise, I mean, right now you'd be better off building a drive-in theater.
Yeah,
Agreed.
true that.
And you got to have the money and the space to do it, or you got to tear something down to do it. And that costs money too.
That costs
Yeah.
money.
Housing's a
I
great
mean, it's
idea.
definitely a real thing. Definitely a real thing. I'm super like, I feel like the movie theater going industry will never be the same.
Oh no,
I
it's
don't
not.
think we're going back to theaters.
Nah, and it's
I'm
sad.
not gonna say never.
But it's not gonna be in the same capacity.
If it comes back, it's gonna be drive-ins, or theaters gonna have to adopt like that, like those high-end kind of theaters, like when you get like
just the
a
pair of
seat.
seats and
Yeah,
you're
like
doing.
pair seats spaced out. Like they're gonna have to all of them be transformed to something like that, so they can control the flow a lot better. People aren't close and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna have to adjust to that. Yeah.
I think you are absolutely right. I don't know that they can all afford to do that. I think a lot of them spend a lot of money trying to get people close together to put them in moving seats and add a 4D experience
4D,
and have air blowing at you and throw extra speakers in the room and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, look, the idea of a place like a Jillian's or Dave & Buster's taking the party room that they have and turning that into a theater room and putting a projector in it and allowing you to get a movie slightly ahead of time, or one that would be a theater, and have a couple of your closest friends, just like you rent a party room, and throw some speakers and stuff like that in there, and do an experience like that, and charge you a premium for something like that, and you come out of the theater and you do a little bowling, play a couple games or whatever it is. I mean, a lot of those places have like moving seat movie theaters in them already.
Yeah, I was thinking
It makes more sense. Wouldn't that make sense for them to just start talking to Disney, start talking to whoever, like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you let us get the next Pixar film and we'll put it in our movie theater seats that don't have so many seats and whatever.
And they make it like one of those interactive rides that you get like at Universal and stuff. The seats, like you said, the seats move, this and that, and you get 50 people together, and that's your thing.
That's it. I mean, that's what I think it's going to be. I don't know that we'll be able to get back. I don't know when we'll be comfortable going back to theaters the way that we used to go to theaters. You know what I mean? Like, midnight movies ain't been a thing for a long time anyway.
A couple of friends of mine from our show, he's gone to see Empire Strikes Back because he, as a kid, grew up never saw it in big theaters.
It almost got me. And it almost got me like that.
He went with 3 people, and there were only 2 other people in the movie theater.
I believe it.
And listen, when you're doing that and you're selling tickets for like 35 cents,
it doesn't work.
And you can't fill the room.
Yeah.
And you're counting on 5 ticket sales to be your concessions, and that's where your money comes from.
I can only eat so much popcorn myself.
Exactly. I mean, again, and popcorn is super cheap. It is super cheap. They just charge you a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't see it going back to the way it was.
It's not.
I think that they need to make some changes, and we'll see the industry change, but I think it will be the kind of changes that we'll all just kind of have to start getting used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Watching from home, you're seeing all of these companies start to put in these group watch options, right? Hulu's got it. Disney Plus just added it. I'm sure HBO Max is going to have it. Peacock will probably have it. Netflix hasn't added it yet, but there's a way to do it. You got to do it through your computer, but you can do it. Amazon has it, right? So, I mean, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber and you want to watch something together, you just go in, you click group watch, you invite your friends, and y'all watch it together, synced up, and you type in your little computer, or you jump on Discord like we're on now to do this, and that's how you have your group activity. Just how it works. You'll do it through Facebook. Facebook will sell you tickets that will give you a digital download to view a movie in Facebook Messenger where you can have 30 people and everybody's watching it together.
And you
and
know
they'll
what?
sell it through Facebook.
I was gonna say, and you know what? That's how theaters could do it. You know what? A brand new movie is gonna come out. Let's say typical Friday release date. Let's just make it a digital only thing where you have to go here and purchase it. Hey, but you know what? We're gonna have set times, almost like you would go into a movie theater, where you gotta buy this ticket for this particular time, so you can tell all your friends, "Hey, buy your ticket for 8 o'clock. We gotta log into this room.
30 minutes early.
You get in here 30
so
minutes
run their
early,
ads and run previews and stuff. Yep.
and it technically would still work the same."
You get the box, you got your snacks, and your movie comes in on one of these little things. You plug that in.
Yeah.
Pop it in. It's like it doesn't unlock until a certain time.
That's all. I mean, again, I don't know if y'all remember Divx.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
an old head.
Yes.
What?
Divx, disc
Oh
that you
my
put
God,
in,
Divx?
that then went away. Like you would have the disc and put it in, and then it stopped working. Like that's what the internet was built on. Like that's a real thing.
Your time ran out. That was it. You're done.
It's over.
Yeah, you can't watch it anymore. But it's on the disc. What do you mean?
I have it. Play.
It's right here.
Right.
No,
They have tried to do this
No, you know,
for
watch this
decades
movie.
and tried to invade what movies and movie theaters are doing for decades. It's just now, it's a wrap. Listen,
That is funny.
yeah, see? Dave Roberts, Suncoast, used to laugh about Divx, but it was a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we need to wrap this up. So here's the deal. We're going to close out in a moment. Sin, you know what I need you to do? As you're getting that ready, Yenside, I want to go to you. Please do me a favor. Let everybody who's watching know where they can find you, how they can follow you. Let's talk about your show a little bit. What do you got popping?
You can check our little thing. We're not quite as extravagant as this, which is we're going to that now. We're going to copy it just like your Loading Snacks movie box. But you can catch us at just go to thenerdside.com, Facebook, the Nerds or Team Nerdside, their Nerdside, something like that. You can find us there. Me, the College Critic, Addie Venture. You can find her with us. You guys probably know some of these people. Producer Zach, and of course myself, Yenside. And if you're gaming in Squadrons, look up my tag, Yenside, and I will fly with you guys, and hopefully we'll win. So that's where you can find me. Thank you.
Hey.
All right, man. Listen, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been awesome to have you. We definitely have to do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was great.
Sin,
Yo.
rattle off the Patreon supporters for Sir.
Of course, shout out to Anthony Cunningham, shout out to Susan Dortch, and shout out to Tyrone Caution. Thank y'all very, very much. We truly, truly appreciate supporting us at the top tier.
We absolutely do. We love and appreciate all of you at every tier. But you know, that higher tier gets you an actual shout out.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll let Jokes do it. Right now, Sin gets to do it. You know what I mean? One day we might let the young guy get it. But not today. Look, you guys know what to do. Follow us across all socials. We're at Loading Snacks. That just makes it easy.
Yes.
If you search us, if you Google us, if you ping us,
Bing.
you will find us.
Earn those points.
I mean, earn those big points. They come in handy. Trust me. Listen, again, if you're not already supporting us on Patreon, you can do it for just $1, but you can do it for $15. If you don't, it's cool. We still appreciate you being here. We love you. We appreciate the support. We are definitely on that chase to 10,000 followers on Instagram. So again, please, if you see something you like, share it, tell people, tag people. We have a plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
That plan does include you all. We need your help.
Where are you guys on Instagram right now? What number are you at?
84.
Like 84, 8,400.
Yeah.
All right, next Nerd Side show, we're going to tell people to go out there and get on that.
Much
My man.
appreciated.
I appreciate that.
8404.
I appreciate that. Listen, I would love for us to hit 10,000 before we have Extra Life. But
Man.
that is the new reminder. Two things. One, I want to thank everybody who jumped in and purchased a breast cancer research shirt from us, Loading Snacks versus breast cancer. It was awesome. We sold about 35 shirts. We raised over $350 to give to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I want to thank J. Robert Deans for suggesting them as the Breast Cancer Foundation that we supported this year. So again, I want to thank everybody for doing that. We do have Extra Life coming up. We'll be playing video games for 24 hours straight. November 7th. It's the first weekend in November. And so the team will be being put together. You'll start to see stuff pop up on Facebook and so forth this week. Anybody who wants to play or wants to participate or play for our team, you will be able to go to our site. Again, it'll be clickable. You can go and you can join us, even if you only play for a couple of hours. Mm-hmm. The important thing is grabbing those donations. All the proceeds for Extra Life, all of them go to help kids in the hospital. So we want to make sure that we're on top of that. Now is a time when, you have people that have COVID and hospitals are not even allowing people in to see their families. So if you can imagine being a child and being sick and not being able to have your family there with you, or something like that, like now is more important than it ever has been to try to make sure that we can raise money to make sure that people are comfortable and are taken care of. So, we want to make sure we do that. So look out for that. It's coming. 24 hours of straight playing games and acting silly and probably eating things that are hot. Maybe I'll shave again. Sin? I can't guarantee that, but Sin.
Yeah, I said I'll put the bid up this year. I'll put it all up this year.
Okay. We'll see how that goes.
I'll put it all up.
Oh, you'll put the bid up. See, because last time you reneged on the thing that you said you were going to do.
Yes,
but I
you
just
did.
That was a little different because I when you sit there watching somebody jokes go through the pain of death that he was going through.
But look, it was for the kids. I took the pain for the kids, and I got some donations off of that too.
I salute you, brother. I salute you. Congratulations to you, boo boo.
You know what I'm gonna say? My favorite thing about last year was the fact that when we decided we were gonna do a swear jar, which we are definitely doing again this year.
We'll do it.
Sin was just like, I'm just gonna put 20 in it.
20 in it straight up.
If we doing it now, then I might as well get like 30 and just put it to the side.
Hey, I'm cool with just tossing 20 bones in there and just call it because certain games we're gonna get to, it's gonna be bad.
Hey, listen, there are some things that are brewing. I'm going to be asking people to put on their shirts and wear them and post pictures and use a specific hashtag, and I'll be donating a certain amount of money for every one of those hashtags that hits for those posts for Extra Life. So, yeah, we got some things that are brewing. I'll keep your eyes open for it. Again, I appreciate you all being here today. We love you. We're out. Toodles and Lubes. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.